Hi, welcome to BSwiftArt. Today's video I'm going to mix some colors, Cobalt Blue and Pyrrol Red. We've got different percentages on our little chart here. I have 100%, 75, 25, 50, 50, 25, 75, and then we're going to blend it wet on wet. So I'm just going to take my little let's see, number 8 round here, doesn't matter what we use. And I'm just going to make me a puddle of my cobalt blue. I'm going to add a little bit of water to it to make it about the consistency of whole milk. There we go. So when you drag your brush through it, you can just barely move it off of the palette there. And I'm going to put some blue so we can see it right there. And I'm just rinsing my brush off in the water, coming back with the damp brush and just adding some water to the bottom there just to see how it'll blend out. Got a little puddle there, see if I can get rid of that. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the Pyrrol Red. Isn't that pretty red? I love it. It's like a Valentine red. I'm guessing it's on the warm side. Sometimes I can't tell the reds apart, but to me that looks a little bit warm. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Rinse out my brush, and then I'm just going to get my water and put it along the bottom there and let that blend into it. A little bit too much water. I'll mop a little bit off. There we go. Okay, so that's it. Our 2 color samples. I'm going to do that again over here. Get a little bit of my blue. And I'm just going to start with the cobalt. So this is what I'm using, cobalt right there. And on my cheap watercolor paper, so this doesn't perform how I love it, but at least I can see my colors. And then I'm just blending them with my wet brush out, so I can see how light I can get it and how dark I can get it, and you can still see the transparency through that. So next I'm going to take 75% of the cobalt blue and 25% of the Pyrrol red. So I'm just going to mark my 75%, and here it'll be 50%, and here it's going to be 25%. So I just want to put a little splotch of color there. Mix up just a tad more to that whole milk consistency. A little bit more there. And then I'm just going to grab me about 25%. I'm just going to dab it. Kind of get me a little puddle so I can get a visual on what 25% should be. Maybe just a little bit more. There we go. Let's mix that up. I think I got a little bit too much red in there. Let me put a little bit more of the cobalt. Mix in some cobalt. Yeah. And then I'm going to put that there. It looks like a purple. Kind of like an eggplant purple. And then I'm just going to rinse my brush and get my water and blend it on out. Nice pale purple there at the end. And while I'm at that, let me put my red spots next to the percentages so I know which percentage of which color I used. And now I'm going to add a little bit of the Pyrrol red to make it like a 50-50 combination. Probably what I had before. Yeah, see more red in there. And then I'm going to put it down here. Oh, that makes like a beautiful wine color. Isn't it pretty? And we'll fade it on out and see how light will go. Oh, that's gorgeous. Love that. Pretty color. Okay, next we're going to use 75% red. So I'm going to make me some of the red here to that milk consistency. Rinse out my brush so I don't contaminate the rest of my blue. Got to get a little bit of water in there to make it move. So make this the milk consistency as well. So when I brush my brush through there, I can see my palette underneath. It doesn't immediately go back together, so it's a little bit heavier on the paint side, which is really good to see how much we're going to mix. So I'm going to try to get a nice fat brush full and see if I can't get just 25% of that blue into my Pyrrol red. I think I might have put a little more blue in it than I needed to. I'll add just a touch more red. There we go. And we will add it over here. So now we have a really dark, beautiful burgundy. A burgundy wine. And we'll just fade it on out. Like that there. And that one beautiful too. Look at that pretty colors we got. Okay, and I forgot to put my 100% red on my chart here, didn't I? So I know that this is 100% up here. I'm just going to mark that 100%. And this is 100% also, but I have it down here. But I forgot to make a little section for that one. Good spot to forget though, since we already have it up there. And I'm going to draw, I'm using my micron markers because when I go over it with the water, they don't bleed. So I'm just going to draw my little teardrop over there. And I'm going to do wet on wet in two ways. So I'm just going to brush some water on here. And now I'm taking my 100% color. So I'm taking some of the blue, kind of dab it in there, and some of my red, and just dab here and there. Kind of mix them a little and see what colors we can get out of them. Get a little blue. Put some blue in there. Let's see what they do, because they're going to mix until they dry. They will continue to combine. You can coax them, get a little bit more of the purples out of there if you want. And now I'm just going to come over here to my little teardrop and fill it in. And I've got water on here so you can see it standing up off of the paper. So that'll keep it fluid. And I'm just going to take some of my, see how it moves? Some of my blue, and then some of my red. Clean brush. I'm just taking it out to the edges there. Try not to mix it up too much. Just want to see what it would do on its own. So that's probably good enough there. Of course, I can't stand it. I gotta touch it. All right. So there we go. So we have cobalt blue, Pyrrol red, and in the different combinations, I got a little watermark going on here from coming back and putting water onto it. It changed the viscosity of the paint, so it moved it out to the edges. But I kind of like the watermarks, and this is neat. You can see how the color breaks with the watermark. So you can see that there's a little bit of a edge of the red, and then just inside that edge I can see the pigments of the blue forming. So that's interesting. All right, there's our color combinations for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. All right, we'll see you again next time. Until then, I hope that you have peace and love until we meet again. Bye-bye.